So when it comes down to defining the conflict between these two parties, it gets kind of confusing because it starts with the fact that FC Barcelona is kind of internally conflicted with itself, trying to keep up with more than a club image and trying to, stay with the league, the more than an image with more than an image. I mean, don't get me wrong. Uh, that is, what makes FC Barcelona. And it provides a platform for the fans, to be nationalist Catalonians and show their pride. And it bring, this sort of attractive fan base. On the other hand, attract this sort of like kind of particular fan base. And on the other hand, they're going to want to be more appreciative towards La Liga for even giving them, the platform to compete in the league. And it kind of comes down to FC Barcelona trying to accomplish or maybe trying to adhere to the fan base a little bit, maybe because they want to go, to La Liga for some help, with their fan base, for stability, obviously, because, they want to keep their fan base. So more support, maybe a little more autonomy is what they might want, and realize that they're more than just another Spanish club, and, but they're careful because obviously the comment that La Liga president made, would not be allowed to be a part of a league anymore. If they were to secede from Spain, from my legal perspective, I guess I would really just say that what they're kind of wondering is, does FC Barcelona like fan base think they're above La Liga, which is, not a good attitude at all to approach from this perspective, especially when it comes to negotiations. Maybe La Liga takes pride in being an all-Spanish league, and, if Catalonia were to succeed and become their own nation, that could be a problem when it comes down to the pride of all the Spanish league, and that kind of, leads to this mutual underlying interest between them both that these teams share, money, pride, attention, that La Liga is in competition for, the attention, the world stage, really, that they had in competition with the English Premier League, and Italy and Bundesliga and Germany, and it's all about, which country has the best league, and, they want to be competitive, and, they want their claim to fame to be the best in the league and in the nation. Barcelona and La Liga want to know this recognition, and they want to be the best, and they want, Barcelona has one of the best players in the world, Lionel Messi, and I just think that both of them want the pride and recognition, and I really think that they can just work together, and the fact that La Liga would be losing dominance on the world stage if they, lost Barcelona, because they are a dominant team in the world, and, that would be catastrophic to their organization, really. Even an example of this, football would be the Patriots. Going to the championship, Tom Brady's 6 rings, removing them for the league. You could say Yankees, Red Sox. Those are both huge teams. Removing them from the league would, be catastrophic to all of baseball. They're a big fan base, especially Yankees fans. They're a different breed. They kind of take that more than a league pride, I guess, like, FC Barcelona would maybe. But anyways, when it comes down to like the communication techniques of these two parties, I think it's important to start by letting them, vent out their negative comments on what they're trying to accomplish here, because that's the tricky part. Is what does each one of the other parties, want, and by venting here, it might take some stress away from the most important communication technique that would be from the mediator, as an act to promote the act of listening. I want dialogue, question asking, and confidence, in each other's arguments. Both sides need to be hearing the message and understanding that, interpreting the message, summarizing, through the feedback, deferring judgment, until it's time to duke it out, until they need to hear both sides. Really. So none of this needs to be in an angry manner, really, or aggressive manner or anything like that. There's no anger to be had between the both because they can both work together, I think, because, they're obviously both Premier League teams, and Premier teams, they shouldn't be doing that, really. There's no need. So that kind of leads me to my negotiation form that I would propose, is more like an integrative, because they're going to have an ongoing relationship with FC Barcelona and La Liga, so they're not really fighting over some limited resource, really. I think they're fighting over a lot of pride, in my opinion, but, I mean, it would just be devastating financially to both teams, that there are a lot of commonalities of interest, and the mutual gain to be had there. And there's an option that can benefit both parties, but these teams need to be in each other's lives to make money, I mean, they go together. That kind of leads to the factors and the barriers that I'm going to talk about, really, that would need to be managed, resolved, within this conflict. So with that being said, I think the barriers really is going to be the pride of the league, the pride, the money, and really a whole lot of ego. A lot of ego to be involved in this, and that's the biggest problems that are going to be faced by FC Barcelona. At what point are you holding FC Barcelona responsible, of the politics of the Spanish nation? Really, I mean, like I said before, I don't think this needs to be in an angry manner to keep, at all. Hopefully, a lot of legal help will be there and try to, understand better to keep Barcelona and what they can do to try to keep FC Barcelona, because they obviously need them. It's very important to them. I think what Real Madrid fan doesn't want is, them to play FC Barcelona. It's just very important to each other. So no angry negotiations. Maybe, they just need to work towards securing a little more for each other, really, in all honesty. So there's a little more, positive impacts for the future. So they need to reclaim the conflict into thinking, hey, maybe I can give something to the fans and we can, get more security maybe from FC Barcelona or something like that. And more cooperation, honestly, from them both. I definitely think about legal, we'll have enough negotiators and most likely be type A people and type A people, for FC Barcelona. And I think the other side, obviously, with Real, with La Liga and everything, they'll have the exact same, I think, type people. So within that, besides that, the part of the fans and maybe a little pride from La Liga, I don't think there's any reason for they can't work this out for these two teams. So.